Dobro veče. Ovo je izveštaj danas konferenc centra iz Sjedinjenih Američkih Država. U ovom izdanju za nedelju pripremili smo ekskluzivni intervju sa Chuckom Blazerom, generalnim sekretarom CONCACAF Federacije i članom izvršnog odbora FIFA. Šta za budućnost fudbala znači rast fudbala u Americi, kakvi se ovde stadioni grade i da li nas u doglednoj budućnosti čeka još veći ekonomski potencijal. Pripremili smo za vas ekskluzivni intervju, ali i malu analizu nakon toga. Pratite nas iz dana u dan u 23 časa samo na SOS kanalu.
Well, over the years we learned that when we had games to play that we were the tenants in somebody else's house. And it didn't work that well. Either we were in baseball stadiums or in American football stadiums, which were being controlled by the other teams, that the stadiums by and large were a little bit too large. They were also, if they were Olympic-sized stadiums, they were not the homey type of football stadium that we like to see played in. And a process started after the Major League Soccer had begun a little over a decade ago with the idea of building soccer-specific facilities. And one by one, they've gone up with a wonderful response because people feel comfortable in a stadium which matches the size of the fan base, so they don't feel that they're in a big building and they only have 20,000 people. To have 20,000 people at a soccer game is a good thing. Even if you compare it to European standards, these are nice attendances. It doesn't look so good when you're sitting in a stadium that seats 70,000 people. But it does look very good when you're in a building which holds 20 to 25,000 or even 30,000 people. I mean, it will vary. I mean, they will have different models. For example, the Red Bull model here in New York, and you'll get to visit them, I'm sure. And it's an absolutely magnificent facility, probably one of the most unique facilities in the world. And yet they don't target a lot of additional outside revenue. They are looking primarily for the facility being really just focused on their brand and on the football that's being played there. But that's an active choice by that team, and it's by its ownership and the investment that they're making in that brand. But there are others who are simply investors who have put together and gotten behind a team and who need the revenue in order to be able to help support the maintenance of the team and the growth of the team and the improvement of the team. And so with a properly balanced program, revenue from concerts and other things which do not negatively impact on the facility. If anything, sometimes these things are positive to the facility because it makes it much more part of the community. People know the facility. They get to know how to get there. They get to know where to park and how it's coming and going. And therefore, if you say later on to somebody who's gone to a couple of concerts there but hasn't gone to a soccer game there, hey, why don't we go to a soccer game over at that stadium? They go, oh, yeah, I've been there. Okay, I'll meet you there. And so it breaks down some of the mores of people who may be new to the sport that we're looking to attract. But certainly from the point of view of investment, it's certainly a way of recapturing some of it. And in some cases, it's been a very important part for those stadiums. And if the company who owns it is able to exploit it properly without damaging his facility, obviously, then I think it can be a very positive thing. Certainly, as far as the opportunities, I mean, we are now sitting one game away from an American team, Real Salt Lake City, who is able to capture the Champions League, and which would put them into the FIFA Club World Cup. They're going into this game having tied 2-2 away in Monterrey this past week, and it's quite an accomplishment in and of itself. But if they are able to achieve that, it will bring the American teams in the MLS to a certain different understanding and different level internationally. Now, what some of these teams you talk about international, it's sometimes when I watch the teams in the league, sometimes I think that the piece that's missing is a good Serbian player. A guy like Bogi years ago who used to sit in the middle of the field, who used to be able to control the ball and who used to be able to see that they got that distribution. You need somebody who's able to hold the ball and be able to know what to do with it and be able to make it work. So there's room for, a few new good Serbian players here too, and I'm sure that they can fit in as this league grows and develops.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blazer.
It's been my pleasure. Good to talk to you.
Thank you. Na kraju naše posete CONCACAF Federaciji, koja je ekvivalent UEFA u Evropi za severnoamerički i centralni deo Amerike. Sada je vreme da malo rezimiramo o ovome što smo sada čuli. Jovice, Amerika je najveća ekonomija na svetu i neki kažu da bi podizanje nivoa klupskog fudbala u Americi i uopšte fudbala kao sporta u Americi moglo od fudbala napraviti još veći sport nego što to jeste i doneti neki novac koji je sada možda u evropskom fudbalu nezamisliv.
Pa treba istići da, to je potpuno tačno, treba istići da evo već 30 godina u Americi pokušavaju da dignu taj nivo fudbala na nivo ravan na najvećim svetskim silama i oni su došli do zaključka pre 7-8 godina da neće moći da urade to ako ne izgrade pravilnu sportsku i kompletnu sportsku infrastrukturu samo za fudbal. Čuli smo to i malo pre da jednostavno dok god su bili podstanari i nisu imali svoje objekte, nisu imali ni dovoljno termina ni mogućnost da razvijaju sport na način koji bi trebali. Bez obzira što je fudbal kao sport u Americi zato popularan kod mladih ljudi, kada se dolaze na taj najviši nivo jednostavno nisu mogli da se takmiče sa 10 najjačih svetskih sila na svetu. Ono što danas vidimo je da počinje se razvijaju što oni kažu soccer specific stadions, znači stadioni samo za fudbal. Kad kažu samo za fudbal, oni ne misle da se ništa drugo ne dešava na tome, ali neće deliti sa bejzbolom i američkim fudbalom. Naravno i to su multipurpose stadioni na kojima će postojati i koncerti i druge predstave.
Zaokružujemo našu posetu stadionu New York Mets. Intervjujem sa Davom Howardom, izvršnim potpredsjednikom kluba New York Mets. Mr. Howard, thank you for receiving us, for your hospitality, for bringing us here to see this magnificent stadium. Can you tell us something about this facility? When it's open, how you manage in this very ugly economical time to sustain this big operation and provide such good conditions for New York Mets?
We opened Citi Field in 2009. It took approximately 3 years for construction, and we had been planning for this new facility for many years, more than 10 years. We had studied many new facilities around the United States, specifically baseball, and we wanted to improve upon what other facilities and other projects had done. And we did it all with a view towards providing the fans with the very best in amenities, in comfort, in convenience, in seating, in their views of the playing field, and also with regard to operations to operate the building in an economical manner and very efficient manner. Well, we built Citi Field primarily for baseball, but also to have other events, other sporting events. In fact, we're planning on having soccer matches this summer. We've had 2 major concerts in the prior 2 summers. Last year we had over 200 hospitality events, so that could be corporate meetings, it could be parties, weddings, various birthday parties, special events. We've had, corporate meetings, industry meetings, trade shows, things of that nature. So we built a lot of very nice interior spaces, what we call club spaces that are very large, almost restaurant quality space, and it's very adaptable and functional to other events, which have been very, very helpful with regard to generating additional revenue. Well, it is primarily baseball, and so baseball is our primary revenue generator. However, we want to use the building to maximize revenue opportunities, and we built the stadium with that in mind. And I think we're going to see a very exciting series of soccer matches this summer. Our first soccer match is going to be an international friendly, and it's going to be a European national team against a Central American national team. So we think with our diverse community, that should be very exciting. We're also looking to do other events here. We had some discussions about perhaps doing some American football matches here. We have also discussed with the National Hockey League about doing their Winter Classic. So we want to use the building year-round. It makes sense to do it to maximize all the revenue opportunities, especially because baseball is basically 6 months. So we have another 6 months. Also, the team, even during the 6-month baseball season, the team is away from the stadium for half that time. So we do our best to use this facility as much as we can.
All year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an important point. This building is probably going to be a catalyst for much other development, economic development in this area. There is 65 acres just to our east that the mayor of New York City wants to develop into a 21st century green community that has everything from residential, retail, convention center, hotel, schools, green space, and there's no question that Citi Field being developed on this site, such a beautiful building, and the attention it brings and the pride it brings to the community helps that type of ancillary economic activity and development. So it is a very important part of Queens. Queens is it's a multi-ethnic, diverse community, and it is a beacon of development, I think, that will attract further development.